Hey, what's up? What's up? We got a Monster Flex here from Goody. I got this yesterday in the mail, and I let all the cigars sit out. If they had cellophane was taken, and just let them breathe overnight. So when I do put them in the humidor, they've already got a full day of Colorado dry boxing. That is what it is, right? Um, so I add these to the rotation, and then when I do smoke them or review them, or live review, you get what I'm saying. I'll probably take them at least 5 hours ahead of time. If I could, the night before, if I remember to plan that correctly. So he put a nice letter in here. He said all of these were purchased from CBID, ranging from roughly 2.25 to 350, aside from the Levas, the V's. Some really great cigars at even better prices. Enjoy, brother. Matt, aka Goody. And this will go into my little humidor shelf. I have pretty much every little note or letter when people mail me stuff. I save that stuff because that's sentimental to me. Because that's the cigars, they come and go because you smoke them, and then you remember them in your mind or your spirit, or if it's a cigar you don't like, you try to forget it, and then you try to use the knowledge like I have to compare it to itself, to its competitors, to its brand, to its internet price, to its real price. It's almost like just like people, they might have different ways to describe themselves. Well, cigars might have a different price pronoun. They have their MSRP lounge price, they have their internet price, and then they have their gouge price. Not every cigar has a gouge. The more sought after a cigar is, the more special it is, the more the gouge. It is what it is. Nice flex here, brother. First we had the Partagas. This is Geo certified. Geo doesn't know how good this cigar is. This is the first Partagas to have a Connecticut wrapper. And let me tell you something, this is a great cigar, and this is the size. This is the Robusto. I like the Robusto better than the Toro. All right, it's Robusto, yeah. What a great cigar, what a flavorful cigar, what a great band. And at lounges, when these first came out, you're talking about $6 in lounges. Obviously on CBID and 5-pack or boxes, you're gonna get even better price. Well made, and definitely not a boring Connecticut, and definitely got a good enough spice, but beautiful sweetness. If you're just getting into cigars, or if you enjoy full spectrum, this is great to give your palate a break, but still have great flavor. Make sure you hold the smoke. Make sure you take it out the night before you smoke it, and you get more flavor out of your Connecticut. Next we have the Zeno. Zeno is obviously Davidoff, and Zeno Davidoff. This is the Zeno Platinum Grandmaster. Now, I've heard some people say that they've seen this before on CBID. I've never seen it on CBID. Maybe I never looked, because I assumed that no Davidoff product would be on CBID minus the 3x3. So we're gonna make sure we leave this out. Probably another day or two. Feels a little moist before I smoke that, but that's gonna be a fantastic cigar. Zeno doesn't play around, so I'll look up the blend. I know PG loves that cigar. Next you have the blue, and what I found with the blue, every cigar could have a range of color of the wrapper, but this one is really dark for the blue. I mean, like most of the time the Cohiba blue, it's not this dark shade wrapper. So there's variables when in any cigar product of the same blend, but this would, I would have to say, this would be the up here, top here, this would be the darkest Cohiba blue wrapper. So I'll be excited to see how that affects the flavor. This one I've recommended for years, and the fact that it's available on CBID for such a low price. MSRP on these normally at the store is only $12, $13. These are great cigars. Beautiful Honduran tobacco. And on CBID, even better. Fantastic. Next we have the Ritchie certified. This is the Cameroon. When this came out, I didn't even know it was a Perdomo. It's the one Perdomo that really excites me, but it is CAO, just made at the Perdomo factory, but obviously CAO chose the blend. When this came out, once again, this was another $6 and change release at the lounge, and it smokes so much better. If you take away the price and just smoke the cigar, it's a great, earthy, very spicy, very strong Cameroon cigar. That's a little dirty, but it works in its favor because you look at the price point and you're like, you're just a kind of a rough around the edges, powerful Cameroon cigar that it works. And if you're looking for a non-refined, powerful Cameroon, it doesn't mean like it's complete cowboy, like rough shit, but it's not polished, it's not sanded, but it's in the workings, if that makes any sense. So it's such a great cigar for that market, and I'm sure online you can get, obviously you got better price point, but it's a great time, and Richie said double box worthy because you think about it, you go to a lounge, you want to spend if you want to spend only a few dollars, you a great time. This one, no, I've never seen it in a lounge. I've only seen this as the internet only version of the Oliva, and if you had compared to these, this would be a lower tier even than the 3, especially by price point, because I remember this was like really high value. I can't tell you about the blend, but I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure if this cigar is just a cheaper version, like with less age and cheaper tobacco than the regular V. That I don't know, because I don't know if it has the broadleaf wrapper or the wrapper from the V, or neither. But I remember being enjoyable, but also I remember being, as it is, you knew you're getting, a value cigar, and it would be, I'd say, the cheapest offering from Oliva, but that was still enjoyable, if that makes any sense. And I remember when I reviewed this years ago, saying that it was good, but I feel if you give it a year or two of time, it'd be better than where it's at, and that's where they're saving the money on that. So it'll be exciting to come back to that. Here you have the classic Bolivar, and this one too. What a dark looking wrapper on this Bolivar compared to most of the time when I had this cigar. So it's variable when you buy cigars, and really that's much darker than I can remember on the Bolivar wrapper. What a great looking wrapper. I don't need to speak much about this. You know how much I love the Bolivar Confrontia. That's a high value cigar, and the Bolivar brand at a Forge gives you a lot for your money. The Master Blends 3, either guys really know about it or guys don't know anything about it. This is an Oliva blend. It is a premium cigar. It is rather inexpensive. It comes in much cheaper than even the V. But here's the thing. If you're online, you're going to get it for like next to nothing. But then again, I've seen sometimes stores sell it sub $10, $6, $7, $8. And then I saw one store selling this thing for like $16.99. I was like, are you out of your mind? They were selling it more than the V, Melanio V. So I think they were just testing the waters, but like, nobody knows about this. So let's see how stupid people are. Hopefully they don't Google. And I couldn't get an answer at the shop. Like, why would they? They were just upselling like generally an internet only. But as far as a cigar, I've enjoyed it. It's definitely dirty. It's definitely so rough around the edges for I believe it was a broadleaf, but it was enjoyable. It's kind of along the lines of if you like the 1000 or 2000 series Padrones, and these two guys would hang out together great. If you're looking for cigars that like just are not sanded down, and it's almost like a great cigar that would be in its early ages with the save cost with less age, but still great cigar, great tobacco, just definitely a little al dente. It's the cigars, they're gonna have more kick and rougher on the edges than it should, but it works well if you're looking for that at that moment. You know what I'm saying? Though, where these are more beautiful, more smooth, but definitely they're strong. But the Master Blend 3, is like that cousin that comes over at every party that makes everyone laugh. But if you hang out too long, shit's gonna happen, or maybe the cops show up, and it always ends a little exciting, and you're not gonna forget it. But then when you think about it, you're like, yeah, he's a funny guy. I like when he comes over. But in the moment, you're like, people get a little scared. I don't know. So you're not going to smoke that and think, wow, if you never had Oliva and you smoke that, you'd be like, that's Oliva? Like, are great things about the V, Melanio V. This is like their entry level into their, what's the word we're looking for? Mid-tier market. And I think it works well. I think it's enjoyable if you understand what it is and if you get it at the right price. Okay, so understand that, and that's a cigar that I feel if you let it sit around your humidor for a year or two, it's not going to hurt it. It's going to help it because it's not coming out smooth. If a cigar is already smooth, ready to be smoked and powerful, smoke it right away. This cigar, definitely some assembly required, and if you let it sit for 6 months, a year, I don't think it's going to hurt the cigar. I think it would only help it if you're looking to try to sand it down. If you're going to look at it as a Padron 1000 and say, man, I want to go against the grain today, punch me in the face twice, then yeah, the Macanudo. This one is one of the most underrated Macanudos. Nobody talks about this cigar, and it has such great flavor. Really make sure you dry box it. It's such thick tobacco. That wrapper is so thick and oily, and I can't stress it enough. The band is a little lackluster, but for its time, maybe it came in a while ago. Maybe that was exciting for its time. And you're talking about at stores, most of the time these go for around $10, maybe give or take less or more, depending where you're at. But way stronger than the regular Macanudos. I'd say it's right there with the Inspirados in strength, depending which one you're looking at. But this cigar is a tier above the regular Inspirados. Inspirados is like an entry-level mid-tier to mid-tier, if you know what I'm saying. No, forget about the price as far as the quality of cigars. This is a solid mid-tier Macanudo. This is not an entry-level mid-tier by any means. It's a really great cigar. Not as high tier as like their vintage or something like that, but great flavor, great character, and unique. And no other cigar would taste like that, I promise you. Now, whether you like it or not, it's up to you. But you will have burn issues if you don't dry box that. If this cigar is moist, you will have burn issues. I've had it happen before, and not that I blame the cigar, but when I've smoked it was right from the lounge. So that cigar, any cigar you want to give it a day of dry boxing if you could, or a couple of hours at least. But that cigar, you will have trouble, I promise you. So dry box that shit. Now we have the Oliva V Especial, and then we have the Oliva V Maduro. Are they both Maduro? No. See, one was marked. Okay, that's right. Here's the regular classic Oliva V. Fantastic cigar. When you factor in the price point, the Oliva V is to the Milano V as the Padron 64 is to the Padron 26. The V offers pound for pound the most value and the most luxury in the Oliva line. Not their best cigar. Their best cigar is the Milanos, but definitely you can get them at a better price point. And even though the Milanos are better, with the price difference, if you say, man, I like a little more edginess of the V compared to the Milano V. I'm not saying either are dirty or edgy, like to the maximum. What I'm saying is, if you just zooming in, like we talk about Padron 26, 64. 64 is a great cigar, and you could say, oh, it's pretty smooth, sure, but compared to 26, it's not as smooth. It's the same thing here. These are not as smooth as these, but these are much more affordable, and online you can get better deals. Where the Millennials, you can get good deals, but the V is pound for pound. You're going to get more cigar for your money, and if you're looking to have it more robust, then the V is the way to go. The Milano V is the better cigar if you enjoy more beautiful, well-rounded character blends, but it's going to cost you some more money. And it's also box pressing, which is an extra step. It also has more age and an extra band, and so whatever. It depends which one you prefer. But the Maduro versions are they're not like produced the same, meaning these come in larger boxes. The Maduro versions I've seen, only generally from what I've seen, unless they changed it, these are only coming in boxes of 10, and they're more limited. They're not just, I don't know what the ratio is. They get 10 boxes of this and then only one box of this, per year. I can't tell you that. But all I'm telling you is when they have the V Maduro, they fly out, and they're more limited. What's better? I'm going to tell you right now, I prefer the Maduro versions of both than the non-Maduro. I guess you could call it natural, because if it didn't go through Maduro process, it's natural. Because even a sun-grown is natural. It naturally happened under the sun. Where Maduro is not natural. It's a process they do in a factory. Maduro process. Point is this, as far as what you like better, that's up to you, your profile. These are the top 4 Olivas, unless one day they finally make it different. I mean, they have many different sizes, but you have Oliva V, Maduro V, Milano V, and Milano V Maduro. If I was looking for the most beautiful one, to me is this. If I was looking for beautiful but more robust, This one hits a lot, a lot. This one might be the best as far as if you're factoring in price and say, listen, I want beautiful, strong, and maybe save a little coin. Then maybe go for that, because this one checks all the boxes. Or this one's going to cost you a little more. So this one to me is the best. But if you say, if I want to save a little money, this one does a lot, and a little more strength. So if you want more strength and be beautiful, this one. Although these two are fantastic as well. It's just, I think for me, the Maduro wrappers on these, they make them have more character and more sweetness. I don't get much sweetness on these. You get a lot of power, beautiful blends, but when you add in the chocolate factor on these, to me, then it makes the blend. Same thing it does to the 2664, the Maduro wrapper. It completes it on those cigars. So you can't go wrong with any of them. And each one has in their own right is a monster. They're well respected, well renowned. Everyone knows of them. It is what it is. They're great cigars, and they're very high quality and always good construction. Never issue with a burn. It is what it is. So I can't stress it enough. I make sure you dry box them. More important, dry boxing on the round ones. The box press is definitely a little more underpacked compared to the round. Obviously, naturally, to box press to square them off. So if your cigars are wet, these will smoke better. And these generally box press will always smoke better wet because it's a little underpacked. They have to square them off. So there's no way. So yeah. And last but not least is the classic Cohiba Robusto. This is the Cohiba Black. What a dark cigar. What thick tobacco. Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. And then I believe Connecticut broadleaf binder. So I mean, it gives it a really dark espresso, non-spicy cigar. Believe it or not, with that heaviness of both wrapper and binder, Connecticut broadleaf, you would think it is very dark, but it's not as, and it is a strong cigar, so it's not boring, but it has a smoothness to it because it is not a monster black pepper spice to it. However, though, when you're done smoking that, because you get such deep espresso, almost charcoal, that might sound off-putting, but it's not. The next day, like, your palate's gonna be blown out after smoking this. So following this cigar, the next day you might want to go to the other extreme and have a lighter cigar. But if you smoke this like 2 in one night or 2 days in a row, you want to use that one, space it out and time it right. You know what I'm saying though? This one really will blow out your palate, and you might not realize it until the next day. So it really is a dark cigar, and it really is pretty heavy. It's just on the palate, because with the age and everything and the blending, you might say, oh, it's only medium full, maybe, you know. It doesn't matter. It's such a heavy presence that it wouldn't be a good transitional cigar unless you're having the same one, and then the next day you're going to feel it on the tongue. So understand that. And on CBIT prices, that's just stupid. That's such a great price, because at stores you're talking about $22. That's any cigar where you have full price and everything else. CBIT, because with cigars they make a lot, some brands will negotiate and dump their extras or non-box worthy cigars or whatever, and you get better prices on loosies and 5-packs. I wish all cigars did that. Obviously, you don't see Melanio V Maduros in the 5-packs for like $3 a piece. You know what I'm saying, though? It is what it is. They don't negotiate with that. With Cohiba, with their other cigars, the Purple, the Miami, the Royale, they're not negotiating either. But I feel like there was a magical time when CBIT first came out, where when it comes to Cohiba or the classic Monte Cristos, you're not going to see Monte Cristo 1935 on CBIT for $3 a stick. It's not going to happen. So it seems like when CBIT came out, a lot of the companies that had their big mass-produced cigars, and there's always going to be extras left over or stuff that they didn't put in a box, or loosies or 5-packs. Seems like they made deals, and the person I know on the inside talked about that on the general side, talking about how it was above his pay grade, and people at the corporate level made negotiations with companies like CBIT, and they are able to sell those cigars below MSRP because they sell by so much volume, and they're not exactly their premier, prestigious, perfect-looking box-worthy cigars. So it's kind of like a second-tier outlet of the same cigar. That doesn't make the cigar any worse, but it's manager special. You know, might have some holes in the wrapper, or a touch-up in the wrapper, or patches on the wrapper, or you know, a little rough on the edges. I'm not saying everyone, but I'm telling you, on the CBIT, you get better deals, and there's a reason behind it. Part of it is it's the opposite of gouging. So does it hurt the brand? It does in some ways. It does. Because once you smoke the Cohiba Black or the blue for like, $2, $3, you're never going to want to pay full price again. And that's that. And you're like, I don't need the box, or I don't need them perfect looking. I'll save the money. I would smoke an ugly Opus that had a little hole in the wrapper for $5 every day of the week. So it is what it is. But then, yeah. So CBIT is the opposite of the gouge, but you're not going to see any cigar that has hype, that demand is. Put it this way: if they sell out, it's not going to be on CBIT at a better price. Cigars that have massive, more demand than supply, and even though they sell tons of Cohibas per se, let's just sample, you're not going to. Those ones you'll see for a better price because there's so many of them, and versus the more rarer stuff that's not as mass produced. It doesn't make a cigar better or worse, and depending what you like. Because I know guys that don't like Opus, and I respect that too. If Opus doesn't work for them, it doesn't work. I feel like these two guys are talking to each other. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like he's mad at him for some reason. Anyways, much appreciated. Thank you very much. Definitely appreciate. Oh, this guy rolled away. Zeno was being a snob. He's like, I'm a Davidoff. He's like, I'm Davidoff. He's like, I'm Davidoff. He just really went off on his own. But yeah, what a great selection. Much appreciated. God bless everyone, and I'll see you around at the lounge.